video?
No video.
No video today.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We don't have any views for the last two.
Yeah.
So this is so we'll figure it out. Yeah. But welcome to this week's whole week Costa. Sound looks good, so it's picking it up. So
nice.
that's nice.
Yeah.
But
that's a crisp resolution on that screen.
Yeah, I know, it's brand new.
It's crisp AF.
First off, we have a new beer we've never tried. This came courtesy of Rachel's dad. It is Mud Hen. It's from Wildwood, New Jersey. There's actually pictures of them filling these 32-ounce cans.
I just tried it. It's really good.
Yeah, let me try it.
Is the date handwritten on the side?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, this is so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's one of the best beers I've ever drank in my entire life.
It kind of has like a pretzel-y taste. I guess that's the maltiness. Yeah. So, what's your job, Kev? I can't think of it right now.
Nurse practitioner?
No, the other part.
Beer?
No. Your job, like nurse practitioner.
I usually do the beer facts at this point.
Yeah, what's your nurse practitioner job?
Urology?
Yeah, urology.
Yeah.
I hope and pray to God that you have to see Nick Foles just so you can see actually how big his dick is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty curious.
14 inches, because Big Dick Nick did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Chicago after winning 4 in a row, and then
and honestly played a terrible game.
No, I think they did a pretty good game. They went up against...
I thought he was terrible.
Oh, he played...
Yeah, he was terrible.
Hold on. He had a good game, not for Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still had a passer rating like 121.
Really?
He's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL.
By the eye, it didn't look good. Like it looked like regular season Nick Foles, not playoff Nick Foles.
Yeah. You want to look up his passer rating from yesterday? Yeah. So that was their first win when everybody in like week 12 were like, "Oh, Eagles are done."
I was 100% sure they were done. I mean, if it sounds like bullshit now, but last year when Foles came in, I was 100% confident. Like every week, I did not think they were going to lose. I really just thought things were going to be fine. I have not felt that way this year. I think I might have said it a few weeks ago in here. I assumed basically after the last 2 or 3 losses, maybe going back further than that, I thought their season was over. I thought they were done. I thought there was no chance.
Right. Legend of Nick Foles grows as he becomes the highest rated NFL playoff passer ever in Eagles win over Bears.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, because I thought he looked bad and like his pass but this is the thing, right? So I fully believe. And I don't know if this is a personality thing, if this is like, if there's some...
his passer rating is 94.2 apparently.
Okay. So I don't know if this is some personality thing. I don't know if this is like, there really is like fate. But I just truly believe that some people are just preordained as winners. And some people just aren't. And the other way, some people are just losers. And there's just nothing they can do to overcome whatever their station is in life, basically.
Yeah. Well, he actually did pretty good. He had 72% complete and for the season, and he went 25 for 40 yesterday. Yeah. Which is still pretty good.
So yeah. But I mean, he threw 2 interceptions though.
Right, yeah. But nothing came of those interceptions.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, because you just see these guys, and obviously like a guy like Tom Brady is an extreme example because he's super talented too. But you just see these guys that are just, like my favorite hockey player at times, Danny Briere. Danny Briere is just a guy during the regular season, and then as soon as the first playoff game starts, he's the best player on the ice,
right? Because
he's just a guy that wins, and there's guys, and like Nick Foles appears to be one of these guys that's just he's just blessed at some point in his life, and he's just preordained to win.
Well, he played basketball too. Yeah. And Nick Foles, I think he is a normal guy off the field, except for the fact that he's 6'6", which I bring up all the time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty tall for even a quarterback.
Yeah, but so I don't know. But then there's just, I don't know. And then like how many guys do you see that are, like the Alex Rodriguez's of the world, that make that are the most talented guys and like, don't really win much,
Yeah. Or the John Johnsons of the world, who's like the best in high school, like John Johnson, the Redskins quarterback, who's like he's still top 3% athletes of all time, in the world right now because it's very hard to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll smoke us in any athletic competition.
Yeah.
But he's trash in the NFL.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, there's some guys there's more talent than others. Like he's in the top 3%, but he's not in the top 0.1%. Like the really, top tier quarterbacks. So I'm just saying if I think there's something, I think it's a real phenomenon in the world that if you take two guys that are equally talented, one can be more of a winner than the other, and it has nothing to do with their talent or their, what they do. It's just some innate thing that there's just guys like Nick Foles that appear to be winners.
Yeah. Did I ever talk about this on the podcast about there's a book of why it explains why some people are better than others?
Yeah, why?
All right. So, and I'll get to the hockey one in a second.
Yeah.
But like Bill Gates became the man he was because there was a programming class in his high school to learn how to program.
Yeah.
And then he was allowed to use the lab from like 2 a.m. at his college to like 6 a.m. and they would just program. And so he really came at the cusp of everything. He is a genius, but he also had the opportunities. And then there's like hockey players, like the best hockey players, they all have their birthdays like towards the end of the year. Because these hockey players, like they go, like what happened to me. Like I went into a lower grade because I was born so late.
Yeah.
In the year, so
they're like a little bit older their whole life.
Yeah, they're older, so they're playing the same leagues as the younger kids because of their grade, and like they mature faster. They get bigger and stronger, so they get more reps and they get more play time because they're bigger and stronger. And it's just because that opportunity of when they were born in the year that they play more than everybody else, so they just become more and more talented. Like if you hammer a nail for 30 years, like you're going to be really good at it.
See, that's what I mean. I think all that stuff is true, but I don't think that's what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like when someone has a conspiracy theory and then the other person backs it up with facts.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's what I am. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I understand what you're saying.
Well, that's what I mean. But in that case, in that example, that means that probably most guys in the NHL fall, or a disproportionate amount of guys in the NHL fall into that older age bracket category. But only a few of those guys are going to win Stanley Cups, or only a few of those guys are going to be beasts in the playoffs. There's just, I don't know. There's, and again, I don't know if it's an external preordained thing or if it's some internal drive that just some people have and some people don't. Yeah. And it drives me crazy sometimes watching, I'm not as big, I used to be, but I'm not as big of a sports fan anymore, where like I follow the off season stuff and like really hang on like the free agent market instead, or the draft picks come up. Like I used to follow that stuff for I guess mostly like hockey and baseball, not so much for football. But it would drive me crazy because you would see teams that just like ignore that like it factor, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna sign this guy. He has all these great stats." I'm like, "Yeah, but the guy's never won anything. The guy's a fucking loser." Yeah. And then your team would sign him, and you put up all these great numbers, and your team wouldn't even make the playoffs. And it's like, well, no shit, because you signed a bunch of fucking losers. Yeah. Like, and then there's guys. And this is the example. This is why there's general managers like Pat Gillick that took the Phillies to the World Series and took the Toronto Blue Jays to the World Series before him, and then took I forget if he went back to Toronto. He took somebody else to the World Series after the Phillies because he could see the it factor. He would sign guys that you're like, who the hell is that guy? And then that guy would make the big play of the season. And he did it every year he was here with the Phillies. He would get some guy at the trade deadline, and that guy would fucking save the season. Yeah. Because he understood that there's winners, that there's just guys that can like turn it on at the right time, no matter their talent level.
Yeah. So, like I get what you're saying. And other than Pat Gillick, you see someone like Andy Reid who doesn't, who like he has a great win percentage, but he just chokes.
Yeah.
Then like the Dallas for the last 20 years, they pick up a lot of great talent, but then they just choke. You know,
Yeah.
so it's the same thing where it's like they're like what you're saying, they pick up talent, but they don't pick up it.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess the Eagles, Donovan McNabb's a great example. I mean, that guy is super fucking talented. I mean, the guy's built like a linebacker, but yet is like a super smart guy and fast and has a great arm. It was a great quarterback for, even though people bash him still in this city sometimes. I'm sure nowhere outside of Philadelphia has anyone ever said anything bad about Donovan McNabb.
Well, yeah, it's just like Carson Wentz. His stats are great, but like, what's he done for us?
Yeah, but I mean, if you, if you put a winner on any of the teams Donovan McNabb had, I mean, we should have had a few Super Bowls during his time here, but he just was not a winner, and
he was injured a lot.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of secondary quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know, but like and like with the Nick Foles thing, and like I even everything we've seen. I mean, I think I'm probably a bigger Nick Foles fan than most people. I'm still hesitant to say like, oh, he's an everyday starting quarterback, because I have no idea, because we haven't ever seen him do that.
I don't think he is, because he did start the first 2 games and like he was just
1-1. He had a better win percentage than Carson Wentz had in the games he played, because he was 1-1. Wentz had a losing record, I think, until Foles came back, and then we won a bunch of straight games. But just, I guess my example is like, so this week against the Bears, so he played, I mean, I guess the statistics don't say this, but I mean, I didn't think he played that great of a game compared to other games we've seen him play in the playoffs, but it doesn't matter, because in the only drive that mattered, in the very final drive, he was almost perfect. And even then, he looked like shit. His passes, he was throwing at guys' feet, he was throwing over guys' heads, but they all somehow connected.
Yeah, well, no, that's his passing style. Like he's made a lot of those stupid passes.
See, I think he's more accurate than what he looked like this week.
But here's the thing. Yeah. He didn't look like he had a great game, because every other game he played, he had an amazing game.
Well, that's true.
He had an average game.
Yeah.
For most quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He had a subpar game for Nick Foles.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, but he, like the rest of, like his great games are average for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Or I were average for Peyton Manning and Brett Favre and Joe Montana and like all those guys. Like those were average games for those greats. That's what puts him apart. But then statistically and numbers wise, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah. But this is, and this is the thing. So like in this game, he plays just good enough to keep them in the game. Then the final drive, you have one drive to win the game. He drives them downfield. Then it comes down, you have one play, and he throws a perfect pass. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just these guys that, like, when the time comes, it's like, it's no problem.
Yeah. Well, Nate from Colorado and I, we were talking about Golden Tate. We're like, oh, what a fucking terrible pickup. Like, he didn't do anything for us this season.
Saved the season.
And then he got 2 of the best catches all season, and he saved the season. Like, he single-handedly saved the season.
You know what I didn't like? The very end of that drive drove me crazy a little bit, because, and I think this is generally a strength of Doug Peterson, but it wasn't. I didn't think that. I don't know. It kind of bothered me here just because it didn't work out. But I feel like Doug Peterson is a little bit of a sentimental guy, and I really think that's part of why he connects with the players, just like the outside looking in. Because if you notice, he'll do a lot of little things, like if a running back breaks a big run to get them down to the goal line, that guy will get another chance to score the touchdown, because he got them there and he gives them the chance to put it in.
Right.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, that's a good manager.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good manager. But is it best for the team?
I don't know. I mean, I think in the long term, probably yes. I think.
Well, he earns respect that way.
Exactly, which I think is important. Which I think the overall respect factor is maybe more important than any individual play, even though sometimes it's maybe not the best individual play. But he had 2 straight runs with Darren Sproles, and that kind of bothered me because I kind of felt like that was one of those like, okay, Darren Sproles had a great career. Let's give him the ball to try to punch it in potentially one last time. And I mean, those Bears linemen are fucking beasts. I mean, they did they have a positive run all day?
Not with Sproles.
Did they have any runs more than 5 yards with anybody?
No, not 5 yards. I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't run.
Sproles is a terrible idea to put through the Bears. It was a terrible idea.
So they could.
But here's why it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Who would expect that?
Yeah.
Like who would? Apparently the Bears. Yeah. But they had the number 1 defense in the NFL. No, not anymore. Yeah. But they had the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we still went down the field a bunch of times. Yesterday's game was the great example of old school football before the West Coast offense.
Yeah.
15 years ago, you'd run, punt, run, punt, run, punt, kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Run, punt. You know, that's you try to just break them down like 5 yards at a time. Yeah. And by the fourth quarter comes, it's 6-3. You know, that's
basically what the game was.
That was 70 years of football.
Yeah.
You know, that was 70 years of football. Now we have this, and that's what it was. Eagles versus Bears, old school football.
Yeah. But so that kind of drove me crazy because, you know, you have clutch Nick Foles with his mastodonic member, and you're going to take him out of the game and give 2 straight carries to Sproles. I thought that was crazy. And then I thought the 2-point conversion play was crazy too.
What, the last 2-point conversion?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Foles, again, in those situations, and I mean, eventually he's going to...
You're not saying the fact that they did it because they had to do it.
They had to do it.
Yeah, they had to do it.
The play call.
Yeah, the play call was terrible.
I mean, it honestly almost worked. I mean, if he was a little bit taller, it would have worked, But again, just, I mean, you've lived and died by Nick Foles. I mean, Nick Foles is the reason you won the Super Bowl last year. He's the reason you're where you are now. I mean, not the obviously, but you know, your season was dead, and then Carson Wentz got hurt. You brought in Nick Foles, and now you're in the second round of the playoffs. So like, you give him the ball there. Like, yeah. I just thought it was crazy. I mean, and it might have still not worked out. Who knows? But I would just give the best player the ball. And I mean, obviously, and again, I don't know that talent-wise he's the best player on that team. I mean, I don't think he is. But obviously, I mean, he's and again, it's probably going to happen eventually. Like, I would be shocked if they won the Super Bowl again. But to this point, over the last 2 years, he has never a single time failed in a clutch situation. He's literally 100% in clutch situations over an entire playoff run, and essentially almost 5 weeks of playoffs now, because they had to win each of these last bunch of games.
Yeah, they had to win. They couldn't lose.
So he is, you know, again, it's not going to be forever, but until proven otherwise, he is unbeatable in must-win situations, and you don't give him the ball in that time. I mean, obviously, it didn't matter in the end, so maybe it wouldn't have worked out because the universe knew it wasn't a must-win situation.
Right.
But I don't know. I just wouldn't give anybody else the ball.
But like, here's my dream matchup for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now they have to go beat the Saints. I think the Eagles can beat. So Dallas is a tough game.
Yeah.
I mean, talent-wise, I think the Eagles can out, but I don't know if they can beat Dallas.
Yeah.
And then the Saints are going to be tough this week.
Yeah,
they're going to be super tough. But I think everybody else in the NFC, the Eagles have a chance against.
Yeah.
Like, they have a chance to beat them. But here's my dream matchup for the thing. Andy Reid's Chiefs versus the Eagles.
Absolutely.
And the Eagles beat Andy Reid.
That's a dream matchup.
That's a dream matchup. I told someone, I was like, if I saw the Eagles go back to the Super Bowl and then beat Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, so Andy Reid still can't get a Super Bowl as a head coach, I could die happy.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Andy Reid does have a Super Bowl ring, but only as the quarterback's coach with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Even though the Saints are a tough matchup, you have the quarterback who faces up against Tom Brady last year in the Super Bowl, pulled out his 14-inch dick, and outpassed Tom Brady. Outpassed him. I mean, that's crazy, you know. So I don't know. I mean, well, that's my other example for some guys who are just winners. Like you put him up against the best quarterback of all time. He's like, so he basically like, oh, so I have to be a little better than him to win the game. Okay, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's no
Like
problem.
no sweat.
Yeah.
It was basically like they're like Eagles are done, and then like Carson Wentz went out, and Nick Foles went, hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly.
I got this, guys.
It's-
Like in February, like I really feel like in February he should retire. Like, oh, I won back. Like if he wins, he's like, oh, I won back-to-back Super Bowls as a second string quarterback. Either I'm retiring or give me $100 million check.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that's really nice, and obviously he deserves more money than this, and how much money he's made for the Eagles. But when he hurt his ribs in that last game, he was 4 plays shy of qualifying for $1 million bonus this year. So the Eagles are trying to find some contractual way they can still pay him.
Right.
So
That's cool.
Yeah.
But did you hear what he said about his ribs?
Yeah, what he said?
He was like, they still hurt, but I'll play.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Yeah, like he was in pain the entire game. He was like, I'll play.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like the whole.
You know what? Jeffrey Lurie could just give him $1 million.
I mean, I don't know. There's probably rules against that, but
Yeah, probably. But what are they going to say? He has a 14-inch dick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he could. I mean, they could just change his contract so that But there's usually repercussions like salary cap wise or stuff for that. So I think with the bonus, it probably doesn't count against, and it's probably taxed differently or it goes against the cap differently is why they're trying to like do it that way. But I don't know. Yeah, but then what happens if he wins the Super Bowl again and then he's like, oh, okay, back to sit on the bench while fucking Carson Wentz, who just gets hurt every year. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but maybe that's just his role. Maybe he just has to play half a season.
Yeah. Well, you know what would suck though if Carson Wentz was healed up by the time, because I think that's the time frame. Like Super Bowl, like he's healed up and they put him in and lose. Like they'll hang Peterson.
Yeah,
the
city would
Carson
riot.
Wentz. Yeah, put in Big Dick.
Yeah. No, I honestly feel like they're all upstanding enough guys that wouldn't happen though. Like that's
you don't think?
Yeah, I mean that's sort of what I go back to with this team is like they just it seems like you have a lot of good guys in this team, which is I think part of their success. That's the other thing too. Speaking of the team thing, is where did this secondary come from? They were tough yesterday.
They were tough, but that one guy kept getting cocky and thinking he can guess the routes. And that's why it cost them a lot of yards.
Yeah, a better quarterback is gonna really hurt them. But I mean compared to what they were a couple months ago,
they just showed up.
Yeah,
they were like, we came to play.
Yeah, they were, and it looked more like the secondary last year. Like, not only did they cover a little better, I mean, they weren't great at that last year either. Yeah. But they wrapped guys up when they tackled, and they had big hits when they tackled.
Except for that one guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but he did a terrible job.
Was it Vontae Maddox? I forget who it was.
Yeah. I mean, he did have that one almost interception, and then he did bat one thing down. But he was trying to go for that the rest. Like, he can't do that against the Saints.
Yeah, they'll pick him apart.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tough game, but I think they have a chance.
I think they do too. I mean, again, eventually, like, I'll say it now again, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I did think they were going to win it last year. Like
how cool would that
when we
be?
got into the playoffs, it would be awesome. But I mean, until they actually lose, I mean, Nick Foles is unbeatable in must-win situations. He's literally never lost.
Well, here's the thing about if they win it.
Yeah.
Last year was a riot. If they win, just thinking about them winning, I'm too excited because if they win again, there will be an actual riot.
Well, that's the thing, and I think and I don't know why I'm so hung up on Nick Foles with this stuff. I think just because he's sort of the coolest story in all this. But winning the Super Bowl last year, I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks whose names you don't remember who have won Super Bowls. And I mean, I think it's easy to, and I mean, he had one of the greatest Super Bowl performances of all time. So I think it's hard to discount him. Like it wasn't like a quarterback where their defense kept them in the game when they squeaked it out 17-14. Like he outdueled Tom Brady. He had one of the best. It was one of the best Super Bowls. It was an amazing Super Bowl. Not just from an Eagles fan perspective, but objectively, it was an amazing Super Bowl. But if he won 2 Super Bowls, like that's a serious thing. Like there aren't many guys who have done that.
Yeah, but I would love to see him win back to back Super Bowls, back to back MVP, and then just get his $100 million check. Like 5 years, $100 million. Like he'll be the most paid quarterback of all time. See,
I really think though, because I think he's still under contract with the Eagles for next year, is he?
No, he's free agent.
See, I also wouldn't be shocked if he just came back.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he is that. Who is that Roman general that just went and I forget the story. Basically, went out won a bunch of wars and then was like, I'm going to farm now. I don't know. He just I just think he could be that guy.
Wasn't Scipio Africanus, was it?
No, he stayed in politics and stuff. I can't think of who it was. I don't know. We'll have to look it up after the podcast. I hate looking up things on it, but yeah, no, there was the guy was this great general, and then it was just okay, I'm just going back to my farm, and then if you need me, I'll be farming. Don't worry about
Are you just thinking about the movie Gladiator?
Yeah, I think that's based on a real thing. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh.
But yeah, no. I mean, I mean, if anyone in modern day is like that, it's probably Nick Foles. I mean, he's real Jesus-y and shit.
Yeah, that's fine, dude. Yeah. It would be amazing if he came back and won 2 Super Bowls.
Well, the other thing to think about, I mean, you could sign a big contract, but the more time he's here, the more his legend grows. Where I mean, essentially, there's something. It might have been Bill Barber. It was one of the Broad Street Bullies guys. Has said before. I don't know. I mean, he said it a bunch of times. I remember hearing it on the radio one time, and I used to listen to WIP all the time. And he was talking about how just the most important thing, and I think it was when the Flyers were in the playoffs, in the mid aughts, like around when the Phillies and the Flyers and Eagles were all good. And he talked about telling those guys basically all you have to do is win a championship here, and then you can just live here forever, and you'll never have to buy a meal again, and you'll never have to buy a beer again. It's the greatest thing ever, So I mean that's the longer Nick Foles stays here, he's in that status where I mean yeah, he's not going to have $100 million where he never has to work again, but basically can just be oh, I want to come on your show, and he's on the show, or he can just. He's just the hero here, and never has to do anything again of meaningful,
Kev.
Yeah.
If Nick Foles won back-to-back Super Bowls, he would never have to show up. He would never have to work a day in his life.
That's what I mean.
In Philadelphia. It would be I don't know, 2058. And oh, who are you? Nick Foles. I'll buy your double quarter pounder with cheese, if I met Nick Foles, I would definitely buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Or a water. I don't know if he drinks.
Yeah, I mean probably not. It's real Jesus-y.
Yeah.
I'd probably be you pray together or something.
Yeah, no. All right, question for you.
Yeah.
Did you go see Aquaman?
Not yet.
Oh.
We saw that Spider-Verse movie.
I want to see that. But Aquaman, because I went to go see it with Rachel. And then I was like, you don't want to even see it. You want to just see it because he's so dreamy.
Yeah.
All right? And she's like, no. She's like, yeah, obviously. Yeah. And then, he's such a fun, lovable guy. And I go, you could cheat on me with Aquaman. I don't even care. He was, the movie was all right. And it was super long. But, Aquaman, which is my biggest complaint in the Justice League movie, was great.
All right, yeah.
And it made, it's almost up to, 3 weeks, almost up to, $1 billion or some shit like that.
What was, the tone of the movie?
Just action adventure.
Okay.
Fun loving,
just like Jason Momoa as a bro.
Yeah.
Just like fish bro.
Fish bro that saves the world.
That's the thing. So I mean, if it's a whole fish bro movie, that probably works. Like you said, Justice League didn't really work because
he was fish bro.
Yeah.
In a serious movie.
Yeah.
There's a part where they're in the desert and they have to find water, and she takes a drop of water out of his brow because she could control water, his fish gal.
Yeah.
Can control water and shit like that. And he's just I could have peed on it. you're awesome. Other than the fact he's 6'4" and 240 pounds and he's buff and he's funny and shit like that. He was just a regular guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He you could tell his backstory, he graduated high school and he like went to go work on a ship or some shit like that. Like he wasn't super serious.
Yeah. No, there's apparently some it's like a semi meme thing where apparently if he takes pictures with like fans, like he'll like push the guy out of the picture and take the picture with just the girl,
which is okay.
Yeah.
which is fine.
But yeah, no, I definitely want to see that movie. We were debating seeing that or seeing Spider-Verse.
Oh, I still want to watch Spider-Verse, but definitely take the kids to go see Aquaman.
Spider-Verse is pretty dark, but like good. Like Spider-Verse is what the DCEU could have been.
Right.
Because it's serious, it's dark, but it's like has the Marvel, like it's pretty funny at parts. But it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's a pretty serious story. The villain has like a really tragic backstory. Like again, just a really dark backstory for like a movie like aimed more at kids.
Now, no spoilers, but is it his uncle?
So they have a really good twist on that because his uncle is a big part of the movie.
Miles Morales' uncle is a supervillain.
Yeah, so he is.
Yeah.
So his uncle is a big part in the movie. So not knowing the comic books, I didn't know that was like a surprise twist for me.
Well, yeah, Miles Morales, and no spoilers, Miles Morales' Uncle Ben's his dad.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, because and then like his uncle takes care of him or something like that, and he's a supervillain. That's what I know about Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I still want to see that.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, Miles Morales is a good character. It's just really well done, and like they illustrate a lot of stuff well that is like the Spidey sense thing. Like how they portray it is like just is good. It just like makes sense how they do it. And versus it being some abstract thing, like it's shown on the screen, because it's a cartoon. They can, the other place, kind of like in Infinity Wars where like Tom Holland's like hair goes up on his arm. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, that's good. But yeah, so like how they do that's great. How they introduce all the other characters is great. The other characters themselves are really interesting. Peter Porker's awesome.
Is that the big Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I want to now. I have to see it. Hopefully, it's in theaters this weekend. There's so many movies I want to go watch.
And they make all the characters really, they're all really unique. There's like a noir Spider-Man that's like talks into old timey like slang. There's Peter Porker who's like total cartoon, like has like big comic, like big like Looney Tunes hammer and stuff like that he pulls out. So they're all really unique, but all clearly related, and they all have similar-ish backstories. I don't know, but the thing that's interesting about that too. So we watched Venom on New Year's Eve.
I liked Venom too. Yeah. Everybody said it was terrible.
I thought it was really good.
I was like, this is actually a pretty good movie.
Well, that's the thing. So there's some debate now because they, and the whole licensing thing's weird. So the reason why Spider-Man came into the MCU so late is because Marvel had sold off a lot of their characters and they sold off Spider-Man to Sony. So they bought Spider-Man back to be in the MCU, but all the rest of the Spider-Man universe Sony still owns. So the idea was that Venom was like the first movie in Sony's separate like
Venom trilogy.
Yeah. And in this whole separate like Spider-Man villain universe they were going to have. So that was some of the debate was now. So it was supposed to be more Venom movies and more other movies related to other Spider-Man characters, but it's, I'm not sure what's going to happen because Venom got sort of bad reviews, but it also made a lot of money. So I'm not sure like how gung-ho they are about the sequels now because it did make a lot of money.
Well, it got bad reviews because it wasn't as good as Spider-Man.
People are assholes.
Yeah,
that's why. It was a really good movie.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, I thought it was a good. I thought it was great.
You've seen Lego Batman, right?
Yeah.
Or just even the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Imagine Aquaman. Imagine like a live action but starring Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like it's that level, like silly and entertaining.
Yeah. Well, the thing, I don't know. I cracked up hysterically in the Venom movie when him and Venom first like fight off against all those cops. And then Venom's like, "Oh, let's take all their heads off." And then he's like, "Oh, why would we do that?" And he's like, "Pile of bodies, pile of heads." I'm like, that's awesome.
It was really funny. Yeah, yeah, it was really good.
I just kept saying it the rest of the movie: "Pile of bodies, pile of heads."
Yeah, yeah. I liked Venom. I thought that was yeah.
But then, so I don't know if you watched the end, but the second end credits scene was a preview of Spider-Verse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's all supposed to be connected, but then I was reading about it a little bit. Then the question is, if they continue with this Sony Marvel Spider-Man universe, would Tom Holland be in it? He probably can be contractually, but like, would they want him to be? Because it wouldn't really be the same universe as the MCU. Or would they cast a different Peter Parker? Would it be Miles Morales?
Miles Morales would be cool.
Would it be Peter Porker?
Peter Porker. Pile bodies, pile heads. When you said that, I was like, that is. I laughed pretty hard about that too.
It was awesome.
And for no reason.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious to see where that goes. I mean, hopefully it goes. I mean, if the friggin' DCEU is like lasted this long, like they should be able to pull off the the whole Venom trilogy and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that and then I think it was all the movies I saw. Oh,
no.
I know, I can't hear myself. I know. Okay. Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm deaf.
Yeah.
Because you're just used to hearing the noise in the headphones.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. We skipped so much stuff because it's been a couple weeks of Christmas and New Year's.
All right.
I don't even know what to talk about.
No.
There's like a whole
Peter
pile of
Porker.
stuff. Yeah.
How was your New Year's?
It was pretty good. We had Sam on New Year's Eve, and he it's fine. He my dad's Panamanian friend from work came over.
Oh, that guy? His name's
Yeah.
like George or something, right?
Oh, what the hell is it now? I can't think of his name. But yeah, I can't think of his name. But
all I remember is they all got drunk before they had to go into work.
yeah, basically. But yeah, he came over, so he's fine. I don't know. I was a little conflicted about that because I feel like it's like I like the like I like it like I don't know. I like for New Year's Eve, like it's always just been a family thing. So I wasn't like too happy about that. I feel like it wasn't like our normal New Year's Eve. Although we got Sam excited about banging pots and pans outside. So he grabbed the guy's like hat like right before New Year's. He put on and he went around and told everybody, "This is my banging pots and pans hat." And I got a pretty good video of banging pots and pans, but for some reason Allie wanted no parts of it. I don't know why.
No, it's because it's Allie.
Yeah, she's real curmudgeon. I think she's honestly becoming more and more like me all the time.
Which isn't a good thing.
She's really doomed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that and the New Year's Day we just watched drunk people walk by. I don't fucking know.
Oh, did you go to the Mummers?
Well, we always go to Kelly's parents' house, and like first I was annoyed at a certain point because like I'm sitting in the living room with Kelly's dad and his blind friend, and we're like watching the parade on TV, and I'm basically sitting there and everyone else is in the kitchen, and I'm like guys, I don't even like this shit. I'm here watching it. Like we're sitting down here all fucking day. You guys got to watch the parade. I don't know, but it's like much different than so like my mom always liked it, so I watched it always as a kid with her, and then when I was like a little bit older, just from watching it with my mom, I thought the Mummers were really cool. I know I definitely talked about this a little bit before on here, probably last New Year's, and then in South Philly, like I've knowing people in South Philly now, I know they're like all just like drunk assholes basically. And it's like really weirder because the stuff I never watched on the parade was like all the friggin' wenches. So it's literally just 100 drunk guys dressed as women that run down the street with umbrellas. Like it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But that's what they all find interesting because like they know all the drunk assholes that are like running down the street. So we're watching that stuff. It's like, oh, it's this person. I'm like, I don't know. They look fucking annoying. and
Yeah, because that's one thing we do have in common. We both hate mummers.
yeah.
Like the mummer string bands and everything. Those are real cool.
Yeah,
When
well-
they show up and do shit, like
Well, those guys are talented, and even like, and then there's like the fancy brigades or like the ones that just dance. They don't play music, but they're like super coordinated too. Because remember, it's just people. Like they're just amateur. It's like just an amateur performing group, and they just they just do it for fun, and they're like look really good doing it. But I always have to root for. There's two Bridesburg string bands, so I always have to root for them to beat the South Philly ones. And of course, the last few years they haven't. I remember when I was a kid, one of them was always really good. I was kind of mad about that. And then there's one group I hate, so I always root for them to lose. So there's that. And then like at night, so like all so there's a parade route back that's blocked off. And like a lot of the groups like walk back through South Philly, especially all the fucking drunk wenches. So basically you stand outside and watch them go back, but it's not even like their level of drunkenness in the morning. Like there's just people that literally can't walking by you on the street. It's like, oh, this is a great family activity. Public drunkenness. The only highlight of that was,
going home.
well, that too, but Allie's dad marched with one of the groups, and he like walked by, and I like shook his hand like, "Oh, Happy New Year." And then my hand was real sticky, so I like didn't know what to do because I had to pee, and I was like, "Do I wash my hand first, then pee, then wash it again? Do I just hold it with my other hand?" Like
You didn't want to touch your dong with his
it
hand.
was real sticky.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell was going on there, but then,
After it was sticky after shaking his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, so. But then he gave Allie like his umbrella thing. Their stupid mummers umbrellas, and like when he walked away, Allie like looked at it and like put it on the ground.
Yeah.
And then he walked back over, and then Kelly was like, "Oh, I don't know if you want this back for your kid, like his like little bastard." But and then he like took it back, and
I thought, but he doesn't work, does he?
supposedly does right now. I mean,
I thought mummers were union guys.
no, there's all no. I'm sure 75% of them don't work.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, they just get drunk and join.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like the string bands. Like
Yeah.
I've seen them perform outside of like the Mummers Day parade.
Yeah, see, me too. I used to like them too, but then I don't like some of them personally now. Well,
the last one I saw was a bunch of old guys, so you gotta like those guys.
yeah, some of them are cool.
Yeah.
That was the one other was we had a few kids with us. We had Allie, we had Mila, and then we had we had Lil Brittany's like kid that she's adopted was hanging out with us.
Someone's adopted someone?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't know about that?
Nah.
Brittany's basically cousins, like her kid's kid, but they're like not in shape to take care of a kid. So she's had Lil for like maybe almost a year now, and she's trying to like formally like get custody of her.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So especially because she takes care of everybody else's kids. So she deserves like her own kid basically. But yeah, so we had her too. So like all these people are coming over and like giving the kids beads and stuff because they all have beads and stuff to give to the kids mostly. So then Kelly's sister Carrie like joked about like flash them or whatever, and I was like, well, if a girl mummer comes by, I got to whip it out, I guess. So then this like girl mummer walked over. I was holding Lil, and then like put beads on Lil. And I was like, oh guys, I thought I was gonna have to whip it out, but she was going to Lil. I didn't know. I was ready.
Well, you're not Big Dick Nick, so
Yeah, that's what I had said to Kelly. I was like, oh, I was telling her just to hang it here, and Kelly was like, she'd be like, excuse me, sir, where do you want me to hang it?
pretty much.
Because it was also pretty cold out.
My New Year's we went to Nate from Colorado,
Mhm.
me, Rachel, and Rachel's sister. We went down to Wildwood.
Okay, that's cool.
So it was fun. And so the first drink, and the beer menu was terrible. And the lady goes, well, what do you want to drink? And I go, kamikaze. And she goes, do you want the drink or the shot? And I go, both. And she goes, all right, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So I drank like $82 worth of kamikazes.
Yeah.
And then the next day, like, I was pretty good. And then I just went to work the day after that. So
Yeah.
it's like pretty uneventful, but it was good. I watched the ball drop on TV.
Yeah.
And Nate reminisced about the time he went to New York on New Year's.
That's cool.
It was terrible.
I'm sure it's awful,
It was awful.
but I want to do it at one point in life. I don't know.
No, he said unless you get there at like 2 a.m, You don't get anywhere near the ball dropping.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he said like he got arrested because he had a knife. Well, he works in the forest.
Yeah,
So he
that's
has
true.
a pocket knife.
Yeah.
Like it's the same pocket knife like he carries on planes, and like no one stops him. So like he got arrested for that. And
Was-
like,
Was he like? Was he basically like, "Sir, I'm just a simple forest ranger.
Yeah,
I don't
pretty
know your city ways."
pretty much. Yeah, so it was like that. But I went to the Eagles game. Did we talk about the Eagles game I went to or no?
I don't think so. No.
I went to the Eagles game on the 23rd before Christmas.
Yeah.
And that was a last minute win. Or
Yeah.
that was the last 3-second win.
Yup.
That was crazy. And then the whole place erupted. There was like real curmudgeony people that like were walking by, like I guess like stuck up or whatever, because we were actually like pretty low.
Yeah.
And there's like stuck up people that are like, yes, go Eagles. And you're like, come on. So we saw a lady, she had like this big like Coach bag, right? You know, if any of our listeners know what a Coach bag is, it probably wasn't a Coach, but it looked like a big old Coach bag. And they're like, you can't, like, we couldn't hear it, but like, you can't come in with this bag. And then the lady pulled out like this like Ziploc bag. Like, you can bring, so she takes out like some personals out of the bag, puts them in the Ziploc, takes the big Coach bag and throws it right in the trash.
Huh.
Instead of like walking back to the car. And then the lady's like, just get your stuff out of it. So she gave her like 2 bags to like carry all her stuff because she thought she was going to go back to her car and put the bag in the car. She didn't. She just threw the bag in to go. But then they won. And then me and Nate walked to South Philly Chicken Pete's.
Okay.
And we were screaming Big Dick Nick.
Yeah.
And then we got up there and some guy's like, Big Dick. Big Dick. And we're like, he got like a whole bunch of people going Big Dick. And Rachel had picked us up at the Chicken Pizza and like, we got something to eat there.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've never heard anything like that. I was like, what? She's like, when they stopped him on that last play, she it was like, it was a 4th down. Like they stopped him and then they drove down and they got that like last second, like, you know, field goal. And she's like, when she got the field goal, she's like, I've never heard anyone I've never heard like people scream like that ever. I was like, oh, you should have seen us and our 68,000 closest friends do that. It was unreal. So that was my Eagles game.
I just really wish the Eagles could have had a home playoff game, so there could be a whole Big Dick chant on that, just that you could hear over television.
Yeah, they would like they would probably have to edit that out. Yeah. Big Dick. Oh, right now everyone they're saying
Big Nick.
Big Nick. Yeah. Big Dick Nick. Like they walk by the booth. Big Dick Nick. Yes, they said Big Nick. Yeah. Yeah. So it was good. So yeah, and the game after that, he almost broke another record. Yeah, the Redskins game. But
the number of straight completions.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah,
one more he would have broke the record. So he's tied with 2 other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So now he holds like 5 or 6 NFL records.
Yeah, we actually for our many listeners, I was over here watching that game. And we were joking that that it seems like Nick Foles like does all the optional achievements. Like he just wants to get all the achievement
Side
points.
quest,
Yeah.
It's great. If he wins another and anytime in season, if he wins another what's it called? Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. At this fucking point, he might go to the Hall of Fame. Like he has like 6 or 7 records.
I don't know what would happen with a guy like that. Say this just keeps happening. I mean, if he wins 2 Super Bowls, never does anything else. I mean, he realistically would not even be a Hall of Fame discussion. What if he wins 3 Super Bowls?
No,
but like in the same fashion.
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
If he wins Super Bowl this year, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely.
It's based on your whole career,
dude. His whole career, he's broken records.
Yeah.
Every single year he's broken a record. He's created new records.
Yeah, like weird, obscure records.
Yeah, he's going to. If he wins another one, he's going.
I don't think so. But if he won, but what happens if
he's going?
What happens? The same thing happens next year, and he wins the 3rd Super Bowl.
Kev, Donovan McNabb never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but he had an amazing career.
As a starting quarterback,
Yeah.
Big Dick has better numbers than Donovan McNabb as a second string.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But in a relatively small sample size, I mean, Donovan McNabb has, it's not only your percentages of stuff, but it's like he's accumulated, probably 100 times more yards than Foles over his career. Same with touchdowns and with everything.
Yeah, but you got to look at the percentage. Like once again, percentage wise.
But that's what I mean. But
over that many years, now
Yeah.
you got to talk about 6 years breaking all those records.
honestly,
He's not going now.
Yeah.
If he wins another Super Bowl, he's definitely going to be there.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I honestly think the halls of fame are bullshit anyway in all the sports.
Yeah, but it makes you look good. It's good for a resume.
Well, I just think the Hall of Fame, I don't know. I think it should be. I think if there's a guy which is probably 90% of all the sports Hall of Fames, the guys fall in this category. I think if there's a guy who the average fan, not like the average person on the street, but like the average pretty serious fan of that sport doesn't know off the top of their head who they are, it shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's so many guys in all the sports that I'm sure if we right now looked up a list of the baseball Hall of Fame or the football Hall of Fame of all the guys that are in it, I'm sure we wouldn't know most of the guys. And that's stupid because then it's not a Hall of Fame. It's a hall of pretty good players.
Statistics.
Yeah.
Oh well, here's the thing about that. Look, like I mentioned when we watched the game, he had there's 60 people with perfect passer ratings.
Yeah.
He's 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He created a record.
Yeah.
That's never been created. He didn't break a record. He created a record.
Yeah.
He holds 2 or 3 records with 3 or 4 other guys.
Yeah.
And then he has a great rating from this last game, and not once but twice he dug the Eagles out of if he doesn't go to the National Hall of Fame, he's definitely going to the Eagles
He'll
Hall of
definitely be in
Fame.
the Eagles Hall of Fame. Yeah.
If when he retires, the day he retires, they're going to induct him.
Yeah. But I feel like my vision of the Hall of Fame should be it should be if you if the guy doesn't deserve a whole room to himself in the Hall of Fame, shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. You should go to the Baseball Hall of Fame and be like, oh, it's a whole giant fucking Babe Ruth statue, and then there's a whole fucking Joe DiMaggio statue, and then there's a whole fucking like that's what the Hall of Fame should be, not a bunch of guys that had good numbers for.
Have
a
you
while.
been to the Baseball Hall of Fame?
It was a long time ago.
I was just there recently, last April.
Yeah.
And who should be Pete Rose?
Rose, he should be there as well.
Pete Rose has not a whole room, but he has a whole corner dedicated to him.
Yeah.
But he's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, technically he's in the Hall of Fame, but
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. Like Peyton Manning, definitely Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah.
He won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams.
Yeah.
And the last one he could barely move.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. But it's not only about the Super Bowls. It's that he has an amazing career with amazing numbers over more than a decade.
Right.
That's what you have to get in the Hall of Fame, or at least what you should have to do.
Oh, Tom Brady's definitely going to Hall of Fame. If it's the day he retires, they're going to vote him in.
That's what I mean. He he should have his own room in the Hall
He
of Fame.
should, yeah.
He is. The Hall of Fame should be for the greatest players of all time. Yeah. But so for example, the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I don't remember the exact numbers now. I believe it's no left-handed pitcher with more than 280 wins or something is not in the Hall of Fame, in baseball. And I remember there was serious discussion when Jamie Moyer was here with the Phillies that he pitched till he pitched to his late 40s almost. It was was he 47, 48 when he retired?
I think so.
So he pitched into his late 40s. I mean, essentially, if he would have played 1 or 2 more years, he would have had Hall of Fame numbers. Jamie Moore is not a Hall of Famer.
He would have had a Hall of Fame numbers over 30 years.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, his story is exceptional. Because the majority of his wins came in the last decade of his career. He was nothing in his 20s. He was very little in his 30s. Or most of his 30s. It was really the last few years that the last half of his career is where he had most of his wins. And, and he very non-traditional, like he had no power whatsoever, just was a great, smart pitcher. So, I mean, he definitely deserves, honorable mention, but like, I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, but like he would have been if he would have won, if in his 20s he wasn't total trash and like had one good season, he would have been in the Hall of Fame. Like, I mean, he just would have had the numbers would have been there where you really couldn't deny him Hall of Fame entry. But that's stupid. Like, I don't know. I liked,
Do you think Roy Halladay is going to go in?
I don't know. See, I mean, he's a guy. So, and this is where the Hall of Fame is tricky because,
he has a couple no-hitters.
Yeah. He's a perfect game. He has no hitter in the playoffs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Perfect games.
But I mean, he's a guy. So the other definition that I like more, or that I also like besides, I mean, my definition of, I think you should get rid of 95% of people in the Hall of Fame and it should be for the really famous people. But if you don't want to do that, I've heard the discussion. I think from Glenn Mack now. I don't know if he's still on WIP. I haven't listened in the midday in a long time. I don't think he is anymore. But I always liked his definition of Hall of Famer guys, which is like when you're watching them, you think, wow, this guy's a Hall of Famer. Like basically guys that blow you away when you're watching them. Like again, when you watch Tom Brady, there's something special. Like he doesn't look like other quarterbacks.
Every time I watch a Patriots game,
yeah,
I go, how the fuck did he do that?
Yeah.
Like there's been points there's been points in the game where he's literally has like a guy on top of him and he's falling down.
Yeah.
And he gets his released and he throws it 30 yards down and the guy catches it. It's perfect. And you're like, wow.
So I mean, so when you watch him, it's like, oh yeah. Or like watching Roy Halladay pitch. He was a machine.
Oh yeah, there's pitches where Roy Halladay, you're like, oh my God. Like Roy Halladay is one of those guys that like he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady, definitely Hall of Fame.
But that's the thing. When you watch Roy Halladay pitch, it was different than watching in being on like I would, even compare him, like when you watch him pitch, it was just so efficient. You could tell that he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Do you remember I think it was the World Series game where the guy hits it and he just catches it and like he just nonchalantly walks back to the mound and like is ready to pitch again.
Yeah,
and like even the announcer's like, what just happened? Yeah. And you're like, holy shit, did that just really happen?
Well, let's say like I would compare him to the other pitchers of that time frame. Like when they signed Cliff Lee instead of him, and then when they got rid of Cliff Lee and brought him like all the stuff that they didn't have to do, that the team could have been even a little bit better during those years. Like I didn't get the same feeling watching Cliff Lee pitch that I got watching Roy Halladay pitch. Cliff Lee was a great pitcher, and obviously he helped us win a lot of games and helped us go deep in the playoffs. But it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like watching him. I didn't think like, oh, this guy is like one of the greatest pitchers ever. I don't know. You just didn't get that feeling. I don't know. So,
yeah, I just think if we make it to another Super Bowl, he's definitely at least Philadelphia Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. If not, in 30 years they vote him in.
Yeah,
because then he still has like 10 years of, probably five good years of quarterbacking.
Yeah. Do you think Malcolm Jenkins would be in the Eagles Hall of Fame?
Probably.
I feel like he's this generation's Brian Dawkins.
Probably.
I don't think he's as good or as popular as Dawkins, but I think he's the closest thing we have right now.
Yeah.
But
maybe. Every time Brian Dawkins played, I was in amazement.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's another guy that when you watched him, it was like he moved differently than everyone else on the field.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's Whole Week Costa. I hope you enjoyed listening. We'll actually be on a regular schedule from now on.
Yes.
But thanks for listening.